Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. This episode it wasn't a terrible episode. I just felt like there were certain characters that you just kind of shoehorned in. There were certain characters that I felt like probably deserved more attention than they got. And at times I felt like this episode was just kind of all over the place. And I know saying it's all over the place when you're dealing with about 4 or 5 different characters, but like, let me try to see if I can make any sense out of that. So let's talk about Alexis and Ned. You know, Ned gets over to Alexis' house and he's like, so that night when we played mattress tag, you were drunk, right? Now, granted, Alexis woke up, hangover, just sitting there thinking about my last hangover, and I couldn't imagine even getting out of bed, let alone talking to someone. But she got up, and Nat came over there, and he was talking, and she was just like, "Yo, listen, I'm not doing whatever this is. You could have just called." And this is when he's like, was you drinking? You were drinking the night that we hooked up and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought it was gonna go somewhere. About the whole, if they're drunk, they didn't really, give consent. I thought they were gonna go there. That's literally what I thought it was gonna go. But they didn't go there. It was just more about her making sure that, you're my friend, and I want to help you, and yada yada yada. And this is where Alexis is like, yeah, I'm not doing another pet talk, pet peeve talk or whatever. We're not doing another PSA. I'm not with it. If that's what you came here for, the door is that way. And then Ned starts talking about Olivia and this, that, and the third. And that's when Alexis is like, so did you come over here to talk to me about my drinking, or did you want to make sure that I kept my mouth shut? And then this is when Alexis is like, why don't you just tell Olivia? Just tell her the truth. Listen, she'll be mad, but in the end, you guys will get through it. She'll appreciate it. And of course, Ned says the same thing that a lot of these soap opera characters try to say in order to, give them that extra motivation to keep lying. Oh, I don't want to unburden my conscience. I don't want to sit there and hurt this person to make myself feel better. And I'm like, how on earth does that make any sense? So let me get this straight. You cheated on someone. You don't want to tell them because it will make yourself feel better, but it will hurt them in the process. Is that what you tell yourself, to sit there and to be able to look yourself in the mirror? That's literally what he said. And, Alexa's just like, listen, tell her, or don't tell her, but you're not going to hear from me. You just better pray she doesn't hear from someone else. AKA Brooklyn. And that was pretty much the extent of their scenes. And I felt like, why was their scenes even necessary? It was so short. I mean, I can literally put it at maybe 6 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes the most. Other than that, it was what was the point of them being there? Now, we got another scene where it's Curtis and Jordan, and they're looking into that mysterious house. They're looking into that mysterious person that Cyrus has been sitting there protecting. And they go over there, and of course no one's there. And I'm sitting there thinking, Curtis, how many times did you sit there and threaten said person that, Cyrus is being so protective over? So are you really surprised that when you get there, this person is not there? So, you start looking around for clues to see who it was. They come across some paper that apparently just has writing on it from Cyrus or somebody, and they're like, well, whoever this person is, because at first they're thinking this person's held against their will, and honestly, to tell you the truth, it doesn't really go anywhere except for they feel like they're getting closer to finding whoever this person is, and then somebody opens up the door. Well, somebody's like jiggling the hand to open the door, and they look, and I think it's the next. No, actually, it's that scene. They see Laura, so Laura's back. But I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised. I just didn't know what was going on with her. You gotta remember, a lot of times, like, unless people actually look into some of the stuff that's going on, like, the last time when Laura was running for mayor, and then out of nowhere she was gone, and then Alexis was running for mayor. And then, behind the scenes, it had a lot to do with her contract and stuff like that, so I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, is she even coming back, or, like, what's going on? But she's back. So, cool. Other than that, not gonna lie, it didn't really go anywhere. Some other things that didn't really seem like they were just there for fluff and padding. More fluff and padding than, Alexis and Ned and Curtis and Jordan. Which was Peter and Maxie. Pretty much Peter was just hovering over Maxie. They were talking about Alex and what's the connection and why was she there, and the baby's fine, and other than that, it didn't really go anywhere. Now let's talk about Lulu and Cyrus, because I felt like that was actually pretty interesting. I feel like whenever Lulu sits there and tries to go up against Cyrus, and she's talking, and it's like this scene was sort of like playing chess. And, Cyrus is like, yo, you wrote an article that I didn't really like. And, the article had a lot to do with the fact that Lulu claimed, it's actually kind of true to some extent, that Cyrus is getting rid of people that are connected to Sunny. So they were going back and forth a little bit. Dante is, like, lurking around the corner. That's the best way I could sit there and describe it. And he sees that, and I think the part where Cyrus is like, I can make your life very difficult. Well, that sounds like a threat. So, Dante walks over there, and, he does this whole, puffing up my chest or whatever, like, you're not going to talk to my girl like that, and yada, yada, yada. And then after Cyrus is like, so, you're Sunny's son. And, which makes Laura grandchildren. And pretty much what he was meant to say was that, I wonder what the people of Port Charles would think, knowing that Sunny is so close to the mayor. And that's when he walked off, and Lulu looked pretty stupid, which is actually kind of weird, because I'm surprised he never actually looked at that avenue before. Anyway, Lulu was tight. Lulu was tight, because this was the second time that she was like, Dante came in playing a hero, and then, it went right back to the whole, you left me, this, that, and third, and, then she walks off, and she walks into Maxie's room, they start talking. Of course, Dante's, like, there lurking again for some odd reason. Well, I mean, this time, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, at least it was there for a good reason. He came in to check on Maxie to make sure he was okay. And of course, Maxie brings up, like, what is going on with you and Dante? And Lulu is like, he just came in again, like, I'm trying to work, and he's just, like, stepping in and overstepping his boundaries, and I don't need him, I don't need his help. And that's when Maxie was like, well, what if he needs your help? And I'm not gonna lie, it was, pretty insightful. I mean, Maxie, listen, in the beginning, as far as when I started watching this show, when they had, I don't know, like another version of Maxie or whatever, she was always like the troublemaker, the whatever, but like, you know, her character has like really grown over the years. And I feel like Kristen Storm has made Maxie into her own character. Like, if somebody else came in and was trying to be Maxie, they wouldn't do nearly as good of a job. And I really do mean that. I mean, it was up until a point where I remember I started watching GH again. This is after like a year or 2 year, whatever, break. And I came in and I watched it, and this was when they had Curtis. And Curtis is talking to a brunette. And then I found out it was Maxie, and I was like, so, like, did the GH writers just say F it at this point? Like, I don't know. I know that, you know, Kristen Storm likes to take breaks or whatever, but they couldn't even find somebody with blonde hair. That was just too difficult. Like, really? Blonde hair. You honestly think no one's gonna notice that? You know what? Never mind. They had the actress that played Lulu pregnant, and they pretended they acted as though people were not gonna see it. So, whatever. Anyway, like I said, yeah, Maxie's character has definitely grown over the years, and yeah, I've really liked seeing her character progress so far. So yeah, she's actually grown a lot, and that's when I was going to talk about the insightful thing that she said, and it made Lulu think, like, you know what? Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Anyway, after Dante saw his mother, he is, you know, still they're trying to take down Peter, so he's in the office, looking around, snooping around or whatever, and I'm just like, are you not even trying to be careful? Did you make sure that the door was, like, not locked or anything? Like, I mean, did the the WBS or SBN or whatever they want to call that, did they not teach you anything? Because I'm pretty sure at one point the door opened, or at least it did in the previews, and I'm like, what possible excuse are you gonna use for lurking in Peter's office? Should be good. Anna and Robert talk for a little bit, and you know he's talking to Anna, and he's talking about Finn, and then he brings up Peter. Then Anna gets upset, and it goes left, and then Robert cleans it up, and then he talks to Olivia. Which, by the way, I felt like her character was like, what was the point of her character being there? I mean, yeah. After Robert and Anna sort of passed things up, because it seemed like it was going to go left about Peter for a minute. Robert talked to Olivia, and he was like, you know, I pretty much stuck my foot in my mouth. And then Olivia was like, you know what? At least if she was mad, then it was a good thing. So, other than that, I really didn't see the point of Olivia actually being in this episode. Finn is okay. Which, you know what? Here's the thing. I knew that they were not gonna kill off Finn's character, because this is what. Let's see. How many characters did GH have to go through with Michael Easton? Let's see. We had John McBain. We had Cyrus Clay, and now we have Hamilton Finn. I felt like after they killed off Cyrus Clay, people were just tight. They were like, what are you doing? You can't kill off this character. He is too much of an amazing actor. And, you know, women just love him too much. So we're just not going to do that. So they had to find a way to bring him back a second time. I don't know what they did with John McBain's character. I don't remember the full story. Somebody was like, his character turned into a vampire or something like that. I don't know what it was, but they had to bring him back a couple of times. And so at this point, I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, when Epiphany was like, oh, he's going to be okay, I was like, oh, wow, really? Totally didn't see that coming. And it's like, okay, what, did he just, like, take a day off or something like that? Like, So he's fine. Chase is not there talking to Willow. Willow's just keeping him company. And other than that, Willow didn't really have that much of a presence. I mean, wasn't really that important. I mean, she did tell Chase that, Michael and her getting a divorce, and, she's still going to be in Wiley's life, and that's going to be that. So, I guess, they're back on. Also, Anna said something to, Willow about, listen, we only get, second chances so often, like make it count, like if you're gonna do something with them, do it. Don't hesitate, And so I guess at this point the romance is back on or something. I don't know. At some point, I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna get back together unless they decide to add another female character into the show, or if somebody becomes single. Anna and Finn. Anna and Finn had this scene, and then it was a scene with Finn and Chase. And I felt like the scene with Chase and Finn was so much more better than the scene with Anna and Finn. Let's be honest, I find Anna to be pretty pretentious at times, and I haven't always liked her character. And so, she's sitting there talking to Finn, and she's all like, we should get married, and, let's not wait, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure some people really loved that scene, and it was a very romantic scene. I was bored to tears. I was literally, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't like romantic scenes and stuff like that. I love This Is Us. I cannot count the times that I've literally been just in tears. Over not stuff that's just sad, just stuff that's like very like romantic and heartfelt and whatever. But watching Anna talk to Finn was just like, I was bored to tears. There was just no other way to put it. But she did, say that they're going to get married. So maybe they'll actually get married this time. But I did like the scenes with Chase and Finn because, their relationship was rocky as hell. And that was a large part to do with Finn. And so, Chase was just really happy that, Finn was alive. And, he's sitting there talking to him in the beginning and just, like, kind of making, like, cheesy jokes or whatever. Just, trying to not be too emotional. Just kind of like, we're men, we're not really supposed to be doing that, touchy-feely stuff, But in the end, it was nice because Finn was like, I think Epiphany said something because Chase was about to tell a really cringeworthy, dry, really outdated joke. And, Epiphany was like, how do you deal with him? And, Finn was like, what can I say? That's my brother. And I'm like, if it was ever a time that I was probably going to tear up, it would have been at that scene. So yeah, I thought those scenes was actually really good. It was actually probably my favorite scenes in this episode. Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, I think I'm done. I just want to make sure. I know I missed a detail, kind of an important detail in my last day's review. And that's because I messed up and I want to redoing it again. But I want to kind of make sure that I got pretty much the majority of the stuff, that happened. And if I missed something, it probably wasn't that important, I like to sit there and say. It was nothing major, or nothing that I thought that, needed full attention. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of screw up in the day's review. There's only that one part. Anyway, with that being said, this episode was okay. Nothing great. It's just certain characters that really didn't need to be there, and like, I don't know. I think again, my favorite part was Finn and Chase. I just love their connection to each other and how long it took for them to get there. How bad it's gonna. Oh, and also Chase's dad showed up. Or no, yeah, Chase's dad. Chase and Finn's dad showed up at the end. I knew I forgot something. Goodness. They didn't show him. They just showed, like, you know, the camera, but whatever. I'm assuming he's going to be in the next episode. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go, because This Is Us is on tonight, and, yeah. If anything, I'm probably just going to watch this episode, and then maybe do the review tomorrow. But I'm not going to wait until Saturday. I'm so glad there's only one episode instead of two. With that being said, hope everyone has a great day or great night. Let me know what everyone thought of this episode. I know this came out super late. I apologize. And, yeah. I'll catch you in the next review.